Now, in another month's time, Jamaica's Reggae Boys will face their nemesis, the United States, in the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Nations League. Now, this does not excite me as in time past, when we look forward to facing the US at the National Stadium, expecting something dramatic to happen. After what we saw in this last game against Honduras, it's hard to be inspired. The game was lethargic, lacked imagination, and there was seemingly no intent on taking the game to Honduras despite being at home.
That there was a little nervousness and not a willingness to really take the game to Honduras. It was more we wanted to and felt like we wanted to control the game and didn't go forward with any tempo, any pace. There was no speed in the game.
The games in Honduras and Nicaragua produced ugly wins that the coach admitted were not tactically or technically pleasing, but the boys, to their credit, grounded out the W's. So it was not unreasonable to expect a solid performance against Honduras in Kingston, especially knowing that they, like us, needed not to lose to top the group and progress. Plus, they would have had revenge in mind for us beating them in their yard. And I just think we allowed them just way too much opportunity to score. Thanks again to Andre Blake, best keeper. You know, sometimes I wonder though, is it that tough to play in front of the Jamaican supporters? Is it the field? Or is it that the National Stadium no longer carries the allure of good, efficient football? Well, we see where there should be major improvements on the National Stadium, but that's over the next 3 years. I don't know. What do you think? What is the problem? Why can't Jamaica just put together some good football games? Now, new coach Steve McLaren does have something to chew on. 4 games, no losses, and top in the group, despite any technical soundness. I do believe, though, that there is a different air around the program. McLaren seems to have brought a vibe. The players do look more lively, despite the performances not being so attractive. Some of the stats were improved against Honduras, like possession. That's good. But it all comes to nil if your shot count looks like this. It's actually pointless. One thing I like about McLaren is his honesty. He calls it like it is. I mean, you can call it lyrical gymnastics if you like, but I like his assessments.
I wasn't pleased with the tempo in the first half. It was too slow, and therefore Honduras could get behind the ball. They waited for mistakes. We made mistakes. We like to build and we like to keep possession and we like to progress final third and get some finishes, but we couldn't do that today.
In my opinion, it's hard to make tactical and technical assessments when the team really showed no real intent of taking the game to the opponent. At that point, the defense comes under all the pressure and is the only unit that can be assessed. And, well, they kept a clean sheet. And as always, there's only one thing to say about Blake. Brilliant. Now, topping the group has put us in direct conflict with the USA, with back-to-back clashes in a month. Now, after home and away play, the aggregate score winner will advance to the Nations League finals and qualify for the 2025 Gold Cup. The quarterfinal losers will progress to the Gold Cup prelims, which are scheduled for March next year. Now, the USA will be smarting from a 2-0 beating at the hands of arch rivals Mexico, and new head coach and the much heralded Mauricio Pochettino will need to make a statement against Jamaica. And let's face it, the USA and Mexico are of the belief that the only competition they have in CONCACAF is each other and Canada when they decide to compete. All this said, the onus is now on McLaren and his team to make a statement that they are not here to be walkovers, but are serious about 1. Winning the Nations League, 2. Direct qualification to the Gold Cup, and eventually winning that too, and the Coupe de Gras World Cup qualification. So McLaren, as I'm sure he knows, has his work cut out if he's to spark optimism in the campaign. For some strange reason, however, maybe I'm just an eternal optimist. But this one feels different. I do believe we have it in us and will at some point prove it. Also, I guess because of McLaren's pedigree, experience, and name, it looks like we'll have another England-heavy roster, although he does say he's open to players from all over.
And in the meantime, we've had a look around. We're searching the world for good players. Quite a few playing in the US, not in MLS, but USL, so we had a look at that.
The latest coming out is that Newcastle midfielder Isaac Hayden will be switching his international allegiance from England to Jamaica. And God knows we need a lift in the midfield. Of course, we await the entry of former Manchester United star Mason Greenwood. And it's now official, Mason Holgate is a Reggae boy, having made his debut as soon as he was cleared by FIFA. This might just mean local-based players might be on the fringe, or do they just have to work harder to cement places in the squad and eventually match time? But you know, I wonder, where will this leave star boy Leon Bailey? Anyway, whichever way, a little excitement is creeping in. We just need to see it manifest on the pitch.